All right, so how are we going to do this? Who knows who John Wooden is? Who? Who is he? Basketball coach for?
Westwood.
UCLA, right? Greatest coach, actually just died this past year, about a couple months ago, I believe. Almost, how old was he? Almost 100, yeah. Took his team to multiple national championships, but other than just being a great coach, he really left behind a legacy about leadership and success, how to accomplish, how to motivate a group. And you know nobody's harder to motivate than a bunch of college basketball players, right? Okay, so he created what he called the pyramid of success, and I want to just talk to you guys about that a little bit. We're going to break it down. It has parts to it, and let me just skip to show you guys what it looks like as a whole, and then we'll come back. Okay, so this down here, right, again, I apologize for the light, but basically a pyramid structure with individual blocks. That bottom level is the foundation. So when you're building a structure, when you build a house or a building or using Legos, all right, what is that foundation's purpose? Good, all right? It's the base. It's the structure support system. So on this pyramid for Wooden, his foundation were the blocks that created that support system. They were things that were essential to success. All right, so throw out, what are some characteristics? If you think of an elite athlete or a successful executive, what are characteristics that they possess that allow them to achieve? Selfless. Selfless, great. Selfish in some cases. Right, you have to have a little bit of that selfishness that I'm out for myself, I'm going to push, I'm going to take what I need to get there. Good. So selfish and selfish, good. What else?
Drive.
Good. Passion or drive. Because you got to have that desire to get to where you want to be. What else might be a foundational characteristic? Silence. Leadership. Great. Leadership. Okay. A sense of creating a team around you, a good support system, and knowing how to delegate. Because sometimes you can't do it all yourself. Right? You might want to, but you have to learn how to delegate and lead. So good. So those are some examples. And for Wooden, he had the two end blocks, and those were called the cornerstones. Right? For him, enthusiasm and dedication. Right? So things that, again, are essential to building the rest of the pyramid. The middle block on that pyramid is the heart. And for Wooden, that was skill. So when he built his pyramid, he put skill right in the middle there. He said, you can't only know where you want to get, but you have to know how to get there. And you have to be able to execute. You have to be able to execute consistently, and you have to be able to execute accurately. So he felt like that skill was essential. Now, I would argue that that heart, whatever goes in there, may not be the most important piece, and I'll tell you why. How many of you guys know somebody that has all the natural talent in the world, but they don't care, they don't have any heart, and they never really succeeded with anything? A waste of talent. Who knows a waste of talent? I mean, okay, good. So it's skill alone doesn't always get you to where you want to be. Then you've got those other people out there, right, that have really no skill. Who's seen Rudy? Right, your typical, all the heart, okay, but not really the natural skill. Okay, so if you think about it, how many of you guys have played Jenga? Have you ever played that game, Jenga? Right, so you always want to get that middle piece. So what happens when you pull out that middle one? What's one potential scenario? All right, good, it collapses. Okay, so if I take skill out and there aren't strong supporting blocks around it, it's going to crash. My whole pyramid's going to crash. What's the other potential scenario? I take skill out. What else might happen to the structure? If it doesn't fall, what does it have to do? It stays together. So if you have strong supporting blocks, you've got determination, you've got passion, you've got leadership. Okay? And you take skill out, you can still succeed in some situations. Right? So skill, and you decide for yourself. Everybody has their own pyramid, their own perspective. But think about, can you succeed without that middle block if you can make the other supporting block strong enough to sustain the structure? Okay. The last piece of that pyramid is the apex. Does anybody know what Wooden's apex was? His ultimate? You guys seen this before? You may not even have seen his pyramid, which is okay. It was competitive greatness. And competitive greatness to him meant that when, and he used the old cliche, when the going get tough, the tough get going. Right? Basically, can you stare fear? Can you stare challenge in the face and rise to the occasion? And if you can do that, and if you can do that consistently, then you have reached competitive greatness. And that's what he pushed all his teams to strive for. And that's what every pyramid that he built year in and year out was meant to accomplish. This apex. And everybody in this room probably has a different apex. Okay? In your career goals, in your personal life, in your school and education, you might have 3 different pyramids. And that's okay. But what you need to figure out is what's your apex and what blocks do you need to get you there. Because until you build that pyramid and until you balance and put all those pieces together, it's going to be really hard for you to actually support yourself and motivate yourself to get up to where you need to be to succeed. Okay? And what's important, and I know you guys are in a class where you're looking at adaptive methods, adapted education. Everybody in your life that you come in contact with in a professional manner is going to have different skill sets. They're going to have different potential. And you can't hold everyone to the same standard. You have to look at each person and you have to say, what is their 100%? How can I get them to their 100%? And you can't compare, because if I'm pushing myself to 100%, that may not be even close to yours. You might have a whole nother level on me. But I have to be proud of myself because I have put out 100% of my effort. So motivation is not a canned approach. It's an individual, personalized experience. And you have to be able to figure out in a group how to motivate each person. How can I get the most out of you? And how can I get the most out of you? And it's going to be different. Right? Somebody likes to get yelled at. All right, somebody else is crying over the corner. Don't yell at me. I just need to be loved. Okay? So just make sure that you are always looking at it with an open mind and you understand that everybody's different. So I challenge you, if you go online, you can find one of these blank templates, or you can even find Wooden's actual pyramid, and just print one off for yourself and create your own. You know, redraw it, be creative with it if you like that kind of thing, or even just use his, because it is a founded structure and most of the pieces are pretty universal, and you may just want to move a few around. But he has a website you can actually read about the history of the pyramid, and it's a really interesting. It's been adapted in business settings for corporate executives, obviously in the athletic industry, and in education. And so it may be a really fun exercise for you guys to kind of adapt as your own and utilize it with your clients or your students as well. So just to summarize, I know I kind of threw a lot at you, and I really appreciated your input and your interaction on that, but just take this with you in terms of goal setting. It's something we forget. At the start of every season, every semester, you guys are about to go into the fall, right? What do we got, seniors, freshmen, what are we? Seniors? Okay, well, you know, you may have a variety in here, but wherever you are, look at your semester. What is it that you need to accomplish? How can I manage my time? That's a big piece for you guys, I'm sure.